Tonight, after War Room, there's a special guest joining us for Aftermath.
Oh my gosh, there is? Who is it?
Yeah, Warren Brown, a content creator, is going to be joining us to talk everything you need to know about 49ers. Come and get acquainted with us. If you're a channel member or a Patreon patron, come and help us out.
Come and help us out. And not only that, get introduced to a new content creator who's going to be talking with us and reacting to what just happened in War Room Episode 5.
Can't wait for it. Make sure you're there.
San Francisco 49ers select
It's time for 49ers War Room. I'm really excited about this. Alex, Andrew's here, Brian's here. This is going to be exciting. Can't wait to get into it.
No, I'm pumped for this, man. I'm stoked for this. Again, two more gentlemen and joining the show. Very first time. Haven't been on before, but they're going to be on in a big way and doing big, gigantic things. Gentlemen, Andrew Pasquini, Brian Carter, how are you two doing?
I am doing wonderful. It's a beautiful day here in Sacramento, California. Very cloudy, not 100 degrees. So it's going good here in Sacramento.
I'm jealous. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and it was raining basically all day. It's about 50 degrees and overcast.
Oh yeah,
but, this is the gift of living 20 minutes from the Canadian border and all the joy of having to deal with Seahawks fans.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, right? And it's going to start raining in Northern California here pretty soon, so don't feel so left out, Brian. I mean, we're out to join the party.
Fair.
Sure.
It's true. It's true. Look, this is going to be an exciting time. Chat, you're going to get to vote here on which of these two gentlemen is going to be the GM to start off the episode. But before we do that, I want you guys to let everyone know where they can find you. Andrew, what's the easiest way for people to find you, watch your stuff, and hear you talk 49ers football and just football in general?
Oh, yeah, man. You could find me on Twitter at Pasquini Andrew. My last name, Pasquini. Andrew, the conventional way to spell it. If you get through all my baseball tweets and my wrestling and my soccer tweets, you get to my above average football takes. So that's the best place you can find me. If you want to hear me talk about football, I'm on a podcast called the Sprint Right Option Podcast with one Jason Aponte, as I like to call him, the most beautiful man on 49ers Twitter. That's the two places you could really find me other than Instagram, but nothing really exciting goes on there for me.
Fair. And Brian, what about you, man?
Yeah. Brian Carter 99. That's my name on Twitter. I think my @ is Brian PNW99. I think they're both pinned
right there,
something like that.
Right down there.
Yeah. And I've got a podcast as well. Same thing. Brian Carter 99. Typically do at least like one a week, at least. But yeah.
Perfect. And nice. And I did put both links down in the description. So if you're looking to find them, you want it to be very, very easy, just go down to the description, click the links, make sure you follow the podcast, whatever you got to do so you don't miss any more content from those two gentlemen. You can do that. But now, gentlemen, you need to make the pitch. Why you to start off as the GM? Why should you be the one making pick 61 for the TCC tonight in 49ers War Room? Brian, let's start with you. What's your thought process here? Why should the TCC select you?
So short version is that for the last 3 months, I have been in my spare time watching film, scouting, and putting together my own draft notes for a lot of prospects. I've done at least 60 prospect film breakdowns. And I'm going to plug John Chapman because I sent him about 10 pages of draft notes and he included it in his just released today draft guide. So been doing a lot of research on this draft class.
I like it. Over 60 prospects there. He's on top of it there. And Mr. Pasquini, What about yourself? Why you? Why you for pick 61?
As I told you guys, my knowledge for the later rounds, maybe not the best knowledge. So I'm going to go with the idea of, I've done this media thing for a long time. I had a radio show at Sac State, doing this podcast thing, did all this fun stuff. Never really had experience building a team. So I'm very much like John Lynch. I just never really was a GM until I became a general manager. So there's my pitch.
I like
that. Yeah, that was solid. And I'll be honest, while we're letting the vote happen a little bit with Andrew, you mentioned wrestling. I want to know what's about the wrestling. Okay, I'm liking this. Where are we at with the wrestling? How are you feeling about how long have you been a fan and stuff? Just real quick.
Oh man, I've watched professional wrestling my whole life. WWE, now AEW. I'm a big AEW guy. I was actually watching Dynamite up until we started here. So yeah, man, I love professional wrestling. It's my secret. It's my secret life that's not so secret. I tweet about it so people know how weird I am. So
yeah, so I know for a fact I need to find Andrew Pasquini on Twitter after this because we can have some fun conversations. I'm also a professional wrestling guy. I love it.
Very true.
Yeah,
Ant, very true. And yeah, you know what? Good follow. Ant.
Yeah.
You need to be doing that and taking care of it. Look, TCC. Let's see here what we got. We're going to close this poll up, and this thing started to get close. We'll give you about 30 more seconds to make votes and put votes in. It started to look like a runaway there for a second. Andrew, you were running away at almost 75, 80%, but then the gap got closed down to about 55. And I'm going to give you 5 more seconds, TCC. I just ended it. Let's see if any last-minute votes snuck through. And Mr. Pasquini with 56% of the vote after 75% start there, 56%. You will be taking the role of GM to start off this episode of War Room. So, hey, you know what? Your pitch there saved. Brian started to make a little bit of a comeback, but you pitched the early downs, and that's what was important. And now you're going to be making
I've
the
only
selection
got
for the 49ers.
30 listeners, so they must have really showed up in that second half of that poll.
They did. They showed up in the second half of that poll. You're not wrong. They definitely did. They definitely did, Brian. So here's the good news. You get to start off. But now the question is what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to sit tight at 61? Or do you want to try and trade up?
So the trading Deebo option is not available to me, correct? No, that was a joke, chat. Don't please don't yell at me. I am actively trying not to trade Deebo Samuel, please. I'm feeling comfortable sitting at 61, just because I think where I want to go with where the Niners should go, at least in my opinion, is safety. And I feel like safety is a pretty solid pick to have at 61 because I think there's a few names you could have, and I'm interested to see what you guys say with what you guys think should happen at 61. But I'm pretty confident that there's going to be pretty decent safety, whether it be who is it, Brisker out of Penn State, Petre out of Baylor, all that fun stuff. I think there's a few good names that we can get available at 61 at safety.
All right. I like it.
Yeah, so, safety at 61 is probably going to be very populated. The question is, are the top end guys going to be there? Brisker could be gone. Jalen Petre probably gone.
He could be.
Yeah.
If one of them are there, I think it's probably not even that big of a thought process.
It's true. Well, we let this thing roll. We'll get a little bit closer to pick 61 and just see what options and possibilities could be there for the 49ers. The TCC, if you're ready. Guys, if you're ready, War Room is officially underway.
Let's do it.
And we're letting this thing roll a little bit there. And there's some names coming off the board, the typical names in the early rounds of these mock drafts. But PFF did have an update. Chat and guys, PFF updated some of their rankings. So some of these guys now going in different spots and are now much higher rated than they were initially. So we'll stop it there. Sky Moore just went at 33. You can see Daxton Hill, Kenyon Green, Ebiketie going at 30. Traylon Burke and Zion Johnson going at 29 and 28. Nothing else here that stands out to me is crazy. Malik Willis falling all the way to 19 at that spot. Some wide receivers going near the top 10. Some offensive linemen as well as a couple corners early. So let's let this thing roll a little bit further, Ant.
And while you're letting it roll, we got a super chat from Michael Duran. He said, KC fan says 2 firsts and a second for Deebo. Make it.
He said 2 firsts and a second from Deebo. The $1.99 super chat from Mr. Duran. It's just not going to happen today, my guy. It's not going to happen. So through 45 now, Jahan Dotson just went to Baltimore. You had the Browns taking Christian Watson. Matt Corral going to the Falcons. Quay Walker, Boy Mafi at 41. Sam Howell at 40. Kyler Gordon at 39. David Ajabu at 37. Pickens there at 35. So a little bit of a wide receiver run. Still some edge rushing options. Still some guys that are going to be available. And definitely some safety options. I mean, we still haven't seen Jalen Petrie come off the board yet. Do you want to let this thing roll? Or do you want to try and get aggressive here, Mr. Pasquini, Mr. GM?
Oh man, that's a great question. No, we're gonna let it roll a little bit longer. Right? I'm not too.
Just remember, we have like 3 or 4 third-round picks next year. So,
what do you think, Brian? I'm gonna ask my draftologist. I'm gonna call you that, Brian, if that's okay, Mr. Draftologist. What are you feeling? What do you think? I'm gonna defer to my assistant general manager here.
So my general thought for this draft is that there's 4 really important positions that I think we should target, and you just want an impact player. So for me personally, I think that we need a wide receiver, because whether or not Deebo, we need depth, because we've only got basically 2 guys. We need a slot corner, because we don't know who our slot is. We need a safety. And then I think we need a speed rushing edge, because outside of Bosa, we've got a whole bunch of guys on 1-year contracts. I think those are like 4 impact players I want to target in the draft, but outside of that, it's just depth and kind of best player available. I don't know who's available exactly at this point, but if there's a really good edge or a really good safety available around 50, I wouldn't personally have a problem with giving up like a next year comp third to see if we can move up like 8 spots or 10 spots to snag an impact starter. That's just my thought process.
Okay. What if I see Jay Eli in the comments here saying move up to 49. And I mean, the 49ers are named after the number 49. You think that's maybe a sweet spot we could go after, or you think we maybe wait a little bit longer?
I don't know. I mean, we can see what's there. I think it depends on who's there and how many impact players there are.
Let's send the Saints pick and let's see what's available there.
All right, let's do that. Let's take a look, see here, and we'll let this thing roll. And I absolutely let it go at 49.
Oh,
there we go.
Whoopsie
2 of the
daisy.
guys.
That's the guy we were going for. That's the guy we were going for, and that's okay.
Both of them.
So then
Petrie or Brisker.
Then maybe let's adjust this. Then let's. Ooh, man, what do we got available at edge? I'm gonna
look at best available.
I'm not gonna be able to see best available on PFF, but what I can
not until you pick. Is that
not until you pick. So what I can tell you is based on what I'm seeing here, wide receiver, you're still gonna have guys like Nick Bonito, Josh Pascal at the edge position. You're still gonna have at the wide receiver spot, gentlemen like, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I'm just trying to scroll through here and make sure someone like this hasn't been selected yet. Possibly Alec Pierce. Mechie. I'm trying to think. Ant, do you have I'm trying to see if I can get I'll bring something up. A big board up real quick.
Ebikete's gone. Maffe's gone.
Yeah, it looks like all the main edge rushers besides Nick Bonito. Nick Bonito, Josh Pascal should be if you're looking for a speed guy, it'll be Nick Bonito. Potentially will still be available.
Okay, so
I wouldn't trade up for either of them, but that's just my thought. You're the GM.
I'm with you on that.
Then let's let it roll a little bit longer. You had a name, Brian, there that when you heard it said, you said ooh, so I'm gonna go after him. Who was that name again?
Oh, I like Alec Pierce, but I would hold off until 61. The size and the speed and giving a big body deep threat. I know he's not Christian Watson, but he basically ran a 4.4 flat. He's 6'3". I think when he runs his routes, he flies off the line and he has really good cuts when he's making a break. And I saw him adjust really well to the ball. Not a lot of yards after catch, but just in terms of like a big downfield target, I think that could be a good like wide receiver to add to the core.
Here are for sure the other wide receivers going to be available at the top of the board right now at this specific moment before we let this thing roll. Jalen Tolbert will be available. John Mechie will be available. Let's see who else. Calvin Austin III is going to be available. Danny Gray is still going to be on the board. Alec Pierce will be on the board. Romeo Doubs will be on the board. Khalil Shakur. Those are the top 5 or 6 wide receivers per PFF's big board anyway that are still going to be on the board at this moment in time. They have not come off. So that's that there. And then in terms of edge rushers, let me just make sure that I can pull this. I want to make sure I get the right guys and don't screw the pooch here on this position. You want to help me here?
You're probably going to have Myjai Sanders, Kingsley Enagbare, Nick Benito, Sam Williams, Isaiah Thomas. Those are going to be the guys that are going to be available. I think as far as I'm with Brian on this, that 61 would be a spot for one of those guys you wouldn't want to trade up. I don't think you need to trade up without Ebiketie or Boy Mafia or one of them sliding.
Fair.
Then yeah, let's let it roll to 61. And I kind of like the realism actually, because if the Saints were actually taking Brisker, that would have been my pick at 41. So if they would have caught wind of that, they would have probably said, no, we're not going to make that trade. So let's let it roll to 61 and let's see what we get.
Absolutely. Pascal goes. Benito just went off the board.
Oh, that's early. Wow.
Ken Walker, John Mechie, Nick Cross just went as well. Safety options. So let's take a look at best available at the moment.
Safeties are getting picked over for sure.
They're getting picked up very, very quickly, Ant. Very, very quickly. And I want to make sure that we get to this here. And let's get to this here. So at the moment, you can see Brian Asamoah there, Troy Anderson, Kingsley Enagbare, Jalen Tolbert, Trey McBride, Chad Muma, Gadecki, Cam Taylor-Britt, Jameer Saylor, Dylan Parham, Marcus Jones, Greg Dulcich, Brian Cook, Kirby Joseph, Kellen Deitch. These are the names at the moment that are at the top of the board. I know you had mentioned safety. Let's just pull up safety options and see who the names are. You have Cook, you have Kirby Joseph, you have Dane Belton, Tyson Anderson, JT Woods at the moment. Those are the top guys on the board there. What position are you feeling at the moment, GM?
You know, I like those safeties, man. The names I had are already gone. That's the one. The only position I'd be most intrigued by, and I think maybe a little too early, would be an interior offensive lineman. But I feel like you could wait a little bit longer for one of those, because I think there's a few intriguing names, especially with Alex Mack kind of unsure. Cam Jurgens is a name I like, but not at 61. I do not believe the receiver Brian was interested in has been taken. So, you know, I think, do you like that pick at 61, Brian, your receiver? Alex Pierce, is that a little too, I'm assuming that's a little too early for you.
It's your pick. Personally, I like it, but it is your pick.
Oh, that's a lot on me.
Yeah,
you're the GM.
I am the GM.
I'm not going to let you influence my picks as much as I mean a little bit, but I can't just be like, hey, make my pick for me.
That's fair.
Earlier, Brian, you said, right, impact player, right? You're talking about impact player 61. I'm one that believes that as well. You need to get an impact player. So you're either going to get impact wide receiver, impact edge rusher, somebody that can either get after the opposing quarterback or help Trey Lance out that way. You're probably not going offensive tackle. Or secondary, which you have Marcus Jones, who's available. Marcus Jones will probably be available into the 80s. So, Brian, if you were going to go Marcus Jones, you would have to trade up from 93. So the question is, if you take one now, let's say you're targeting those two guys, right? You say, I want to walk away with Marcus Jones. I want to walk away with Alec Pierce. Then when you pick Brian, you would have to trade up to get one of them. Is that something that you would want to do? Or are you looking at another position at 93? Maybe that would influence what Andrew decides to do at 61, so you can get both guys that you want to get.
I mean, like I said, I've kind of got 4 positions where I want like impact / starters, and wherever we go with the first pick, I'm going to look for the best available, the remaining 3, whether that's slot, safety, receiver, edge. I'm going to try and find an impact player at the next spot.
You know what? Then at 61, I think the pick, I like Marcus Jones. Brian, you mentioned a slot corner. I apologize. He is one, but I also like him because people are talking about his return ability, and that's something the Niners legitimately have not had in the 2010s since Ted Ginn. So let's get an impact player that can help on the defense in the secondary. We'll go Marcus Jones at 61.
I like this here.
Yeah, there you go.
I like this. This is not a bad selection. Marcus Jones is a guy who's consistently been mocked to San Francisco, and the more and more that we do these, the further and further he's climbing up draft boards. So some people may think, this might be a reach, but in terms of what he could add to your team and immediately slotting in there at that nickel slot, I like this here. Marcus Jones is the selection. TCC sitting there. And now the only question that remains at this point in time is you have guys that you're looking at, Brian, because now you're on the clock. You are the gentleman who is making the next selection. You have a couple of guys in mind, I imagine, at this next spot coming up. Where do you want to be? Because Ant just brought up, you might have to move up a little bit from 93 in order to make that selection of a guy like Alec Pierce or even potentially another player. Where are you thinking you want to be to make that selection? We don't want to have what happened before where, we accidentally let her roll one pick too early and miss the guy that we're trying to get. Yeah. So how aggressive do you want to be?
I would say let's roll at 10 spots, see how things are looking, and then just kind of go from there. I figure check in every once in a while, and if somebody goes or if things start flying off the board. I did notice that there's a couple wide receivers available that I still like. So if like two of them go, then I'll probably want to jump up. So there is one, Tolbert, I really liked.
So Tolbert and Calvin Austin just went. So that was back-to-back there at receiver at 70 and 71. You had Cam Taylor-Britt going at 69. No other wide receivers that I can see that have gone off the board at this point. So you're still going to have some options with wide receivers. There's still a little bit of room there. In fact, I can tell you right now.
Our pick is like what, 93?
93 is the pick.
Okay, yours
93
says
is the
like
pick.
80 down at the bottom of the screen, so I don't know what's up with that.
Oh, that's because from last time we had made a trade. Good catch there. Good catch. There was a trade up in the last war room. That's supposed to be 93. So there we go. That's back to being what it's supposed to be.
I was wondering that for like 5 minutes.
Like you said, they're going, we're not picking at 80. What is this guy talking about? Here's who I know is available for sure. You're going to have Jahan Dotson, that's still on the board. John Mechie, that's going to be still on the board here at the top of the list.
Dotson's gone.
Dotson's gone. Oh, that's right. Dotson is gone. So Kyle Phillips would be the next name after that. Calvin Austin just went. Danny Gray is still going to be available. Alec Pierce will still be available. Romeo Doubs will still be available. Khalil Shakur, David Bell. Those are the top wide receivers right now that are still on the board. So we've rolled it. We've rolled it about 10. We've gotten ourselves to the 72 range. Do we want to try and make a trade here? Or do you want to let this thing roll a few more picks?
You know what? I think I want to try and trade one of our next year's ones because I see that it looks like the next team needs a wide receiver and I want a receiver. So let's see if we can trade one of next year's third plus our next pick and get up. I don't know if we'll be able to because that's jumping like 20 spots, but.
So I just put this in with Seattle. Pick 93, a third round compensatory next year. They will take that. They will take that. They will take that trade. 100%. They will take it. There's no question about it. They will take it.
Cool. Would they take a fourth next year?
They will not take a fourth. They won't even consider taking a fourth. So they want the third. So the question is, you seems like you're good with this. Does anyone want to make the case that adding that third round compensatory on top of that isn't necessary, is a little too much?
Because Alec Pierce is still available, right? He hasn't been picked.
Right.
He is still available.
What if you pitched 105 and next year's third instead of 93?
Ooh.
66% chance that could work. 66% chance. That would still keep us with pick 103. And like
you mean 93.
93, excuse me. And we give up 105 in a third round next year. So you want to try and roll that first?
Let's try that one first, yeah.
Okay, let's do that. It was declined.
Oh.
They declined it, even though it had a 66% chance to go through. So Seattle says, no way, not happening. I don't think so.
All right.
So now the question is, do we want to try and throw something else in to sweeten it up, something a little bit later? Or do we want to try and
go Mr. Irrelevant?
I don't know if it's going to do enough to move the needle. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know.
I don't know. 6-round comps.
Add a 6-round comp?
Yeah.
So add a 220? 220 and 221 bump it up from 66 to 78%. It gives you about a 12% bump that they may take it.
What do you think, Andrew?
I'm cool with it because you got to consider too, with D'Amico Ryans, right? He's likely getting a head coach job. These comp picks will come back at some point, right?
Okay.
Agreed.
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, 221. I'm going to offer it up. We'll see what happens. And Seattle has bit, boys. Seattle has bit. They have taken
our
the
friends
bait,
up
and the
there
Niners.
in Seattle. We love it.
Alec Pierce, run it in.
He wants to run it in right away.
That.
He wants to run it in right away. Hey, I love it. The confidence this man has in his boy. I love it. Does anyone want to make a case? Anyone want to talk him down off of this ledge?
No, not if he traded up to get him. Then yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah,
6'3" wide receiver with body control, great route breaks, and 4.4 speed.
Can he
like,
play,
do we not want a deep threat with Trey Lance out there throwing bombs?
Can he play running back too?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with no. I'm gonna go with no on it.
Okay, good,
but,
good.
You know, you never know. I mean, something crazy could happen, right? I mean,
here's what I'll say about running back. I am all for drafting running backs in day 3 because I don't believe in paying them. You draft them in the 5th or 6th round, and I'm happy.
That works with me. I mean, we saw with Elijah Mitchell, right?
Bingo.
Yeah. So Andrew's on the clock now, taking over as GM. So now you've got to decide: do you want to stay pat at 93? What position are you targeting, or are you also looking to move up?
I haven't gotten him yet, but I wanted to give him a little chance to look at the board if there was a position he was wanting to look at, so he could see some of these players that are actually still available right now at this point in time before we made the Alec Pierce selection.
Yeah, so we traded 105, correct? So our next pick is 134.
No, our next pick is 93.
93.
Oh, our next pick is 90. Oh, we still have 93. Ooh.
Dude, safeties. There's still some safeties left.
Yeah,
there's like
safety.
Cook, Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, you know, we'll stay at 93 because I also think there's a few interior offensive linemen too that I'm interested in that I think will be solid.
Agreed with you there. Okay, so Alec Pierce is the pick. I'm going to lock this in right now at this moment as long as I find him and make sure I select the right name. There it is. Alex Pierce has been selected, and I'm going to make sure we get this off the board so that you guys can actually see picks and what is going on here. There we go. Okay, perfect. Alec Pierce there at 72. Cameron Thomas just went to the Colts there, the edge rusher out of San Diego State. Zach Tom, Christian Harris, Darian Kennard, Dylan Parham, Kingsley Inagbri, Kirby Joseph goes, Ryan Asamoah. Cam Jurgens just went there at 82. That stings. That stings. I like that guy there.
A little bit.
That does sting there a little bit. Max Mitchell off the board. Petit Friere. Cole Strange goes as well. Martin Emerson. Donovan West. Darian Mathis. Alex Wright. Khalil Shakir.
But we're not worried about that.
James Cook at 92.
Brian, I'm going to work with you a little bit here because I feel like a lot of interesting names just went. I've been really into Cam Jurgens, and if it wasn't Jurgens, Cole Strange would have been another one. Where do you feel comfortable picking? Because I think this would be a decent place to maybe trade back.
I mean, what position are you thinking about? What are you looking at? Are you looking at safety or line?
I was thinking interior.
I don't think there's any edge guys.
Line. Yeah,
I think we're at the point where there's not a good enough edge prospect to make the team. Because we have 11 defensive linemen already signed. So they've got to beat out a lot of guys to make the team.
Yeah, edge feels like not a great one right now.
Not anymore.
There was an interior offensive lineman that I saw there, but I don't think we need him yet because Fortner could be interesting. But
I'm a big fan of Fortner. I remember watching an entire game of his, and I think he lost 2 reps.
Now, do you think it would be a reach at 96? You think we trade back a couple, maybe get another pick and see if we can get him in a couple picks?
I'd be down to trade back if you want to. I mean, there's still a couple of guys that I like available. I mean, again, I see Brian Cook is there.
Brian Cook
like the last safety that I kind of like, but there's also a couple offensive linemen I like. There's tight ends available. There's corners available. A lot of corners.
You know what?
We kind of only need like depth at corner. We don't need a starter with Mosley, Ambry, Charvarius Ward, and then also having
Jones,
Demo Lenore, being back for year 2. We've got like 5 corners.
Let's go. I'll help fix the secondary. I'll go Brian Cook because I do think the Niners need a safety. I would have preferred to take one at 61. Nothing against Talanoa Hufanga, nothing against Moore back there. I think the Niners are going to need a safety. So I'm going to go Brian Cook here just because I think that it's pretty decent value here.
Alex should go ahead and talk to you about this because Alex is not as high on Brian Cook as I am. Okay. So I'm curious what he has to say about it.
Well, here's the thing. This typically would be a spot that I wouldn't look at it, just because there's some guys later that I really, really like at the safety spot, whether that's Weatherford out of Miami, Ohio, whether that's Marquise Bell, who is
Weatherford is a linebacker.
Yes, well, that's the thing, right? It's the flexibility. We've talked about this as well. I think you can do a lot of different things in your room, and the 49ers love themselves safeties that can come up in the box and play themselves linebacker roles. It grants them that versatility. I think there are some other guys later, and I'm also not necessarily convinced that the best option in this draft at this point, based on what's happened, is to go safety, only because you can just try and re-sign Jaquiski Tartt after this. I mean, Jaquiski Tartt feels like a better option.
You're speaking my language there. then can I go a little weird? Let's get a little weird with this pick. Well, we got a tight end. Is Cade Otton still available?
Oh my goodness gracious! I love this man. He is still available. Now look. He's sitting there at 134. I mean, in theory, you could trade back. But this right here is the guy that I would be looking at. I'd be considering. He's very high on my board. This is a very well-rounded tight end. Ooh. The blocking aspect is there. The receiving aspect is there. Is he a burner as a receiver right now? No. But is he an upgrade over Ross Dwelley? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think, oh man, see now. I like how excited you got it. And while it is a reach, I do think the Niners, the Niners could be in a position where they're looking to pick what they feel is the best available player. And Cade Otton could be that guy, a skill player, get another player out there for Mr. Trey Lance, ideally, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. Who knows? Let's get weird with it, right?
I do have one thing before you do that.
Yes.
Can we look at the trade offers, because our next pick isn't for another like 40 picks?
That's fair.
So if I want to move up a little bit, there might be a lot less available 40 picks from now if you take a tight end right now. So who wants to trade back with us a little bit?
That's true. So, let's look at that.
Saints want to move up from 98 to 93. Baltimore wants to move up from 100, and the Jets from 111.
Do you think Cade Otton might be available at one of those next picks?
He for sure would be available at 98, for sure.
For sure at 98.
For sure at 98. What else are they offering? Is this what is it just night?
As of right now, we get to kind of play around with it here a little bit. So if we ask for 98, 93, we're going to veto the trade because it's lopsided in their favor. Yes. So you'd be wanting to try and get something back in return. 120 doesn't really get you a whole lot.
What if you though flipped it, right? You got 120 and then you gave them 134. You could get the move up that Brian wanted without ever having to.
We can move up 14 spots from 120 to 134, and we move back 7. So we move back 7, move up 14. You move up from 134 to 120.
Could you also flip 172 with 161? And just go ahead and move ourselves up to a bunch of different spots.
You could.
Yeah.
100% could. They will take it.
I like this idea. So let's do that. Let's make the trade. I'm into it. And then I don't know how it works. I know I technically traded my pick. Well, we traded your pick, but this next one would be yours still. Next one would be yours still. So this works. Okay, so before we pull the trigger on all this, let me make sure I update the ticker, because we got a lot of movement. There's a lot of ticker movement going on.
A lot of ticker movement. So 93 becomes 98, 134 is going to become 120, and 172 is going to become 161. So we're actually moving up in 2 of our other picks and only moving back a total of 5 spots. So 5 spot back and over 20 spots forward over 2 picks. I like this trade here.
I like it.
Ant being the connoisseur of movement around here. I love what he's doing over here. And let's offer this thing up. Let's watch it get accepted. And then let's see who comes off the board. That's going to be the important thing here. So
I'm going to cry if it's off the board. You'll watch me cry.
Oh, there goes Cook.
He's still there.
He is still there.
Let's go out to 98. Let's go. Let's get another tight end. I know Kyle likes his 2 tight end sets and all that fun stuff. So
run it down their throat.
He does enjoy those 2 tight end sets. You are not wrong there.
Let's do it.
98 happens. We make the selection of Cade Otton there at that spot. Solid selection there. And Brian, you're now going to be on the clock at 120 is where you're going to be. Is there a position that you're considering or looking at this spot?
Let's see here. So we've went with We went with slot. We got a wide receiver. We got a tight end. So we've given Trey 2 weapons and we added a slot. I'm kind of just looking at best available at a couple positions at this point. So let's roll it like 10 picks.
Sounds good.
Or I guess let's just roll it to 120 and then I'll see what's up there.
There you go.
I think you're going to have some good options. I still think there's going to be some solid players here. And the fact that we moved up where we moved up is going to end up, I think, leaving some very talented players here on the board that I think all of us are going to be pretty familiar with. Yeah. So that's the good news. The only question will be who it is. I hate seeing Danny Gray go just before that ad. That is absolutely sad. Sad to see Danny Gray go there just when he did. So BPA here, best player available. You got Kellen Dyche, you got Kyle Phillips, D'Angelo Malone, Romeo Doubs, Marquise Hayes, Logan Bruss, Braxton Jones, a big TCC fan that like themselves. A couple people love themselves some Braxton Jones. You also have some talented running backs. You still got Rashad White there on the board. I'm trying to see there. Pierre Strong still available here at 135. Spencer Burford at a UTSA. So there are some talented players still available on the board here at this spot. Is there a specific position you want to look at?
I just want to look at offensive line. So interior and tackle.
And tackle? Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay, so here's your interior and your tackle list right here. This is what you got.
Okay. Not really seeing anybody that I like at this point. I like Kellen Diesch, but he's so freaking thin. I remember watching his film and thinking, why is this tight end playing left tackle?
He's a weird one, right? I mean, he doesn't necessarily fit the typical 49er mold in terms of guys they're looking for in terms of skill set, what he does well. He's great in pass pro, struggles a little bit in the run. Not a little bit, he struggles a lot in the run. He struggles heavily in the run. But
I remember watching him and he looked like a savvy vet in pass protection. It was like he never got beaten. He just looked so balanced and always in position, but probably not a good fit. Okay. Bring up just interior offensive line.
We can go just interior. We can go just interior O-line.
Yeah,
these are the names you have available on interior O-line. I already know, Ant.
Yeah, I like Alec Lindstrom. So I'm sitting
Lindstrom
here
is solid. I still think it's a little high for him.
Correct, but this is what I mean is you might be able to wait a little bit. I mean, we still got 120, we got 161. He's probably going to be available. Oh, he might be available 161. He could go before that. I've seen him go in the 150s on average.
Yeah, he could be there for sure.
Okay. I'm not seeing anybody that really stands out to me.
Is there a position that you're looking at right now, Ant, that you're seeing on this board right now that you want to pitch to Brian, that you thinking, hey, I think you should be.
Does anyone have any ideas? Because I mean, I guess my thought is I already grabbed a receiver.
Right.
I wanted a safety, but I'm not really seeing anybody that I like that much at this point. To me, it feels a little early for running back, but I don't know. I'm kind of open. There's still some good guys at different positions.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, you're looking for an impact player. And so, I mean, I know we went wide receiver earlier, but I'm going to go ahead and pitch a wide receiver at this point. I'm going to pitch Kyle Phillips from UCLA. He's a guy that if you think Julian Edelman, this is him. I mean, he gets in and out of his breaks super quick. He's able to catch the ball at an alarming rate. I really like him. And I know Alex, kind of said he's like Hunter Renfrow. He's that guy. I mean, he's a really talented player. I know when I was watching him, I saw a lot of versatility, a guy that could do a multitude of things. So I know he went with a big, tall wide receiver with, to take the top off. Maybe now we go with somebody that can operate in those short areas and make pass catches there. So I would be willing to go Kyle Phillips. There is a linebacker I like, but not.
Are you asking me to double up on white receivers?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you.
Listen, wow. But bring back Trent Taylor too.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this is what I mean. We saw the success when Trent Taylor was healthy, right? We saw the success in this offense he had with Jimmy Garoppolo and Kyle Shanahan. This is a much better route runner and definitely a more shiftier guy than Trent Taylor. And as of right now, a better version of what Trent Taylor was and can be in this offense.
I do like him. He is a good slot receiver. He's one of the better slot receivers. I guess I'm also just thinking, I don't know. I mean, that is probably
and you brought up a linebacker you like later. I've also seen an edge guy that's coming up that's going to be probably available in that 161, 187 range that I really like as well.
Yeah, bring up edges. Let's see what edge is looking like moving forward. because I want to kind of know like who's going to be available, because we have this one and then we have another one at like 160 or something. Okay, cool. So there's a couple I like. I'm actually pretty high on Michael Clemens.
Great motor.
And
Isaiah Thomas.
I already know what I'm doing later. You know what I'm doing later when we get there. You know what I'm doing later.
Yeah, Alex is about to pitch somebody Zachary Carter at some point. I mean, that's
some point, Zach Carter is getting pitched. I'm just letting the TCC know that now, and both of you, I'm going to be making this pitch.
I know the Niners met with Malone.
True.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Pasquini? Should we go edge with Malone, or do you think we should go slot receiver with Kyle Phillips? Should we help our edge? Should we help our pass rush or help Trey?
Oh man, because okay, so I guess here's the $1 million question: is Deebo Samuel on the roster?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
Then probably edge, right? Because I mean we already went receiver, right? So we've already dipped into that pool. But then again, I just want to point out this is a hypothetical, and this is stressful as hell. I have so much more respect for every general manager. I've never done anything like this. This is very stressful. This is just a simulation.
I feel like I've got the meme going of like trying to figure out like all the different simulations and like answers.
Because if the Niners are keeping Deebo, I feel like receiver probably decently solid, maybe something later down the road, right?
You know what? Pull up the wide receivers, because I want to see how many guys there are that I like later on, because this is a deep receiver class. Because Dubs is a deep threat. Kelvin Austin, he's got some traits. Justin Ross is like a big slot receiver. Tyquan Thornton,
Velus Jones would match too, because they just met with him.
Yeah, those three guys right there, Tyquan, and Velus, they all ran sub 4.4s.
I have a totally just unrelated question. Is Kobe Bryant still available? Because I live in a world where I want Isaiah Thomas, Kobe Bryant, and Chris Paul. Just because
he's there.
I live in that universe too. I want to get all the NBA names.
Yeah,
that's funny.
So he is still available. Kobe Bryant sitting there, still available as well.
I think there's enough interesting receiver names down the road that I think an edge would be solid here.
And just so you know, some in chat are pitching running back. Just so you know,
it's true.
Well, let's see who's running back available, because there's a lot of good running backs too.
There are.
My thing with running back too is I firmly believe we could hold off on that a little bit, because the joke I make on the Sprint Right Option podcast is Kyle Shanahan can get my 65-year-old dad 4 yards of carry.
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, you might not be wrong. He could give me 4 yards of carry. And as Ant knows, I had a coach in high school who said, "Alex, I love you, man. You work really hard. You're reliable." He called me UPS. Alex is going to get the job done. The problem with Alex is Alex ain't getting you there next day shipping. It's not getting there next day shipping. It's going to take a little bit of time to get there. And he tries really hard. He does everything he can to work on that speed. That speed's just not there. And Kyle Shanahan could get me 5 yards of carry. So there's that. I don't disagree with you on Pasquini. That's fair.
I would hold off on running back until at least like I said, I am a firm believer in drafting running backs day 3. So like 4th, 5th round is where I start thinking about it. I think we're still just a little early here.
Okay.
Oh gosh, this is really hard. I don't know. Do I go edge? Do I go receiver?
It's really hard. It's really hard to miss here, because I think right here just at the top of the board, the first 4 names, these are all solid names at this point at 120. All 4 guys would be something that, number one, I mean, Kellen Dyche, yes, there's not the run blocking aspect, but you wouldn't be asking this guy to come in day 1 and be a starter. This would be a guy who's developing, which means he'd have time to get himself to a point where maybe you feel more comfortable with him stepping in if you were to walk away from McGlinchey next season after, this 5th-year extension that you've accepted with him. Kyle Phillips works in on the slot. It's great there. D'Angelo Malone, big, length, speedy as well. Romeo Doubs, big, tall, takes top off the defense. And then there's Pierre Strong also that I see the chat continuing to pitch at the running back spot with the speed. A lot of people are saying speed. I guess the question is what elite trade are you looking for, right? Because the elite trade is kind of what matters.
I think I made my decision about 2 minutes ago, but
I like it.
I think we're going to go with D'Angelo Malone, because we want a speedy edge rusher. And we need that depth. And there's not a whole lot of other speedy edge rushers that are left. And they did meet with him. So I'm going to add some edge depth. I'm going to trust that he makes the team. And when Bosa becomes a $30 million man, we'll still have Malone on a rookie contract for another year or two coming off the other edge. So we're going to get edge because we are the 49ers and that's what they do.
It is fair, my guy. I don't hate this. It is difficult. It is difficult. You aren't wrong there. So D'Angelo Malone goes, Romeo Doubs goes. So now, Mr. Pasquini, the question becomes, are we waiting? Are we waiting to 161 or do you want to be
161? Ooh, because I like to me, I think this is probably where we're gonna need to go. Some sort of offensive lineman. I feel like we've ignored the position long enough. I'm hoping Lindstrom was a name that I've heard quite a bit. So I'm hoping that maybe he can drop to us.
We can always let it roll to about, 150
so we've got
is where
161, 187, and then 222.
220 and 262.
Okay. Let's let it roll a little. Let's get to like 130-ish because I do think we need to address the offensive line and preferably a guy who can play center because if you get, if Alex Mack comes back, that's a good guy to have a younger player learn behind, but you want to get somebody that might be able to step in, right? So not much too concerning yet, right?
I don't know. I mean, we just lost a guard, and I think the person who's up next, it said they need a bunch of O-line.
It's
Green Bay at 132 has wide receiver O-line needs is what PFF is saying. You can see that right there.
Yeah, and then Tennessee had guard and center listed on there. Tampa Bay guard center. So I think we're about to see some interior line go.
Well, have we seen Fortner go?
Fortner has
Fortner's
not gone. Fortner has not. Oh, actually did. He went at 112.
Fortner's gone.
Yeah, Fortner was one of the names I looked at. Why not? Let's try and trade up to 130 here and try to get Lindstrom if we may. What do you guys think about that? I know it might be maybe I don't know if that's too much of a reach, so that's my thing. What do you guys
30
think?
picks?
Even just for Lindstrom, do you think 130 is a little too early? Because we can't see who's available right now, correct?
I mean, it's the 4th round, so we're in day 3.
And you're a big Lindstrom guy.
Yeah.
At this spot, I'm gonna resort to you because number one on the podcast here, you are the line specialist. This is your forte. Is this a smart thing to do here at 130? Do you like this?
Well, we already know how I feel about Lindstrom. I would have taken him in the 3rd round. I mean, I think he's that kind of player. The intelligence level that he plays with, the way he's able to be the signal caller of the offensive line is impressive. I know there's some size concerns, but he can definitely get a little bit stronger and stuff. The question will be where he falls. Now, so I'd be willing to trade up. Are we going to be able to make a trade, though? Do we have enough draft capital to be able to move up 30 spots to get Lindstrom? I think that's the bigger question, but I don't think it's a reach as far as how I believe, even though we know that PFF doesn't value him the same way that I do, or maybe somebody else does. So it comes down to that. It's what value we put on him.
So, and here's what I'm saying. I think we can get away with this here. If we go, we could go a 2023 or a 2024 round 4 pick.
Okay.
And possibly maybe 220 or 262 and get away with this. 262, if I do that, if I give a 2024 4th and pick 262, it's a 57% chance.
Ooh.
If I give up pick 220, the compensatory pick with 224, the 4th round 224 pick, it is guaranteed to go through.
I don't really want to give up the 6th round comp yet, but
I can't math that well.
Let's try the 57% trade first, and I'll start saying no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Try to get the computer rolling a little bit in our favor. 50 is a coin flip, right?
Yeah, come on, Bills Mafia, do us a solid.
Here we go.
Do us a
I'll
solid.
go through a table right now for it.
Ooh,
It did it, boys.
Let's go Lindstrom.
Oh, nice.
Let's go get that offensive lineman because I feel like that would have preferably been my 93 pick. A few names that I really wanted fell off the board. So yeah, let's go get Lindstrom just because we really need a center at this point because you don't know what's going on with Alex Mack. There's a lot of question marks on this offensive line, and let's try and shore up one of them. So let's go get Lindstrom.
I like this here. And we still have pick 220 as well. Holy shnikes.
Yeah,
So
so
one
who's our
pick
next
left,
one
right?
after this?
No, we have pick 130, pick 161, pick 187, and pick 220.
Okay, yeah, 130 though is Lindstrom. He's
130 is Lindstrom.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So we
Yes.
still have 161. We still have 187.
Oh, okay.
161,
Cool.
187, and 220.
Oh
love
wow.
Oh, that's not
Yeah.
that bad. Okay,
All
cool.
we had
So
to-
I'm up
all
in
we-
30.
All we had to give up there
What's
was
something next year?
a round, in actually 2 years, round 2024, 2024 fourth round pick, and the Mr. Irrelevant pick.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Okay.
before you do this, let's look at. I just want to see what receivers are available and what running backs are available, because I think 160 it makes sense to add an offensive weapon.
Do you want to see wide receivers in what other position?
Running back,
Running back.
because that's about
Fair,
the time
fair.
where it kind of makes sense. So we got Pierre Strong.
What I know I saw Tyler Batty. Am I a little higher on that just because of his name than some people?
I like Ty Chandler.
Because he's a baddie.
Yeah,
Hey,
give or take
Alex,
pretty much.
While they're thinking, can you give everyone a rundown? Some of the people in chat are asking for a rundown of the picks so far.
So picks so far, chat. We got Marcus Jones at pick 61, Alec Pierce at 72. So we traded up to get that there. 98, tight end Cade Otton. Pick 120, D-end D'Angelo Malone. Then we had at pick 130, I apparently forgot to enter that in, so I'll have to try and...
It's
We
gonna
haven't
be,
made that pick. We're at 130 right
Lindstrom.
now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. 130 is going to be Lindstrom.
Yeah.
And then we have 161 after that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at currently right there, and I'll update that as soon as we get through this here. So wide receivers and running backs, these are your options right now. You still got a guy like Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. You still have Tyquan Thornton, Velus Jones that are going to be coming in a little bit later as well. Jerry and Ely, I know chat is a big fan of this guy late, so they will be probably spamming that in chat.
And
when
then
we get to that
Jalen
point.
Warren, who the 49ers just met with.
It's true. Jalen Warren out of Oklahoma State, who they just met with as well.
Cool. Yeah, let's let it run. I'm not too concerned. I'm down. There's enough guys in here that I think I'm okay waiting to 160 and getting whatever one. There's a couple of guys I got my eye on to add,
Fair
add
enough.
another weapon.
I like it, sir. I like it, Brian. We're flowing right now, gentlemen. We're flowing, and I absolutely love the flow that has been happening. I'm gonna crop this down here just a smidge, and Alec Lindstrom is going to be the selection there. Solid choice, solid take. Man, the trades in this one, Ant, feel like they're on point right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving the aggressiveness. I'm loving the movement. And we still have
Feels
a lot
like
of
a
picks.
real
I mean,
John Lynch
And-
draft.
And we still have Deebo. Look at us, guys.
we're killing it. We're killing it.
And
And Andrew was
Garoppolo,
not
too.
wrong. That's true. And Garoppolo. I mean, I don't know how much chat's going to love that, but you're not wrong. You're still here on the docket. So I'll let this thing roll a little bit. Brian, if you start seeing some names that concern you, let me know.
I mean, there
See
was
what we
like
got.
5 of them that I'd be happy with at like 161.
All right. I like that. I like that. I like that. Malcolm Rodriguez goes. Kellen Deitch finally off the board. Kevin Austin just went. Zach. Oh,
There
man,
goes your
lost your
guy.
guy.
Sorry.
my soul.
Oh,
Do you want
darn.
to
My
give
soul
your
needs
pitch
it.
now?
No, it's
No
fine.
Gators.
My
No Gators.
Florida
Whoa,
Gators is
whoa, wait
officially
a
off the
second.
board.
I don't need that Go Gator stuff.
Listen, I'm a Go Gators guy, and the compatriot over here is a Florida State guy. So
Oh, you're a
he's-
Florida State guy too?
Yes.
I'm not the only Florida State 49er fan. I love it.
No.
It's
No. In fact, Jay Ellie in chat is a Florida State fan as well.
true.
It's been really brutal lately, guys. I'm sorry. It's been
It's been awful. It's been awful.
Clemens goes. Amari Barno just went. Chingo Conquo just went. Bo Melton
Melton.
off the board.
There's one of my speed guys.
Guy Bailey Zappi. Tyreek Smith goes. Neil Farrell. Kobe Bryant.
Oh no. There goes the dream.
There goes the dream.
No, we still got Isaiah Thomas and Chris Paul.
Oh, there you go. True.
It's true. You still do have Isaiah Thomas. Cal Katera goes off the board. And
Ooh,
Velus
that
Jones
All
goes there at
right, so
160.
let's bring up a wide receiver and running back, because I lost 2 wide receivers, but I think there's still some good ones in here.
I would agree with you there. And there's still Pierre Strong that's on the board here at 135 with the speed.
That is hard not to do.
At this spot, yeah, it is difficult. Brian Robinson still as well. Josh Johnson, Eric Azukanma out of Texas Tech, Hassan Haskins, Tyquan Thornton still here at 192 as well. I mean, so there's still some speed guys. There's still a Jalen Naylor as well. There's a lot of good options here. Andrew, is there a position that you want to look at here to try and pitch to Brian? Or
I don't hate the running back idea. I honestly, this is the first time in the Kyle Shanahan era I'm really semi-concerned about just the running back position. I love Elijah Mitchell, but I do think he's gonna need some help. Jeff Wilson's fantastic. You just don't know how healthy he's gonna be able to stay. Trey Sermon exists somewhere. Don't know what's going on with him. So I think running back probably. I like Brian's thoughts of a day 3 running back.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'm not going to go away from it. I would have taken Pierre Strong already, so
Okay.
I'm with you on that one. Pierre Strong 4.3 speed, yeah, I love it.
And listen, the chat. I'm already seeing it in chat. I'm seeing speed. I'm seeing lots of positive stuff there. They really do like this. This is an option here with the speed there. It doesn't necessarily replace the Raheem Mostert speed, but it definitely helps you bridge the gap a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Pierre Strong Jr. I mean, there's other fast wide receivers, but I think he's a good fit. And again, he doesn't have to be the starter, but with how much they run the ball, with how fast Shanahan just breaks running backs, we're going to need some depth. So why not add another sub 4.4 speed running back that, can take a few touches a game?
I like this. Solid here. Here.
Before we lock in the pick, can we look at IOL just real quick for my references?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because there's is Cordell Volson still?
They met with Poe.
Let's see if Volson is still on the board.
Ooh, I like that.
I really like him actually. Yeah, Cordell Volson.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
okay.
Dude, you better take him the next pick.
That's what
that guy is a mean right tackle who runs guys over.
And he has, they're also thinking he could
probably play right guard.
He could work in a guard too, because one of the things I looked at offensive line is guys who had a little bit of versatility.
Yeah.
And Volson is one, and he could probably, but I like the Strong pick here.
Yeah, I'm going Strong, but I will say if Volson is there at the next pick, I highly recommend it because watching his film, he was awesome.
Love it, gentlemen. I love it. Taekwon.
Oh, there goes Taekwon.
Right after that. I mean, speed coming off the board. There's just nothing but speed here from 160 to 162. Lots of speed all over the place.
Calcaterra is fast for a tight end as well. I think he ran near a 4.6. So he's quick too.
Quick. Definitely quick. Lacks in the blocking game, but solid as a receiving option. You're not wrong there. I absolutely love it. So let's let this thing roll a little bit. As Ukanma goes,
and we're up at
McKinley
180.
We are 187, correct?
Okay,
187. Okay.
Yeah, well, let's go so that's one tackle. So just be kind of watching that right now.
Yeah, we'll be. Can we go just one at a time here? Just
absolutely.
God, it's gonna be so sad when if his name comes off. if it comes off at 172 with our original pick, right? That'll be a little sad. I still like who we got.
You see the tackle need.
I see the tackle, and that's a little concerning.
All right, do we want to let this one roll, or we want to try and make a trade?
Let's roll it. Why not?
I was gonna say we only have one more pick after this, right? Don't trade my last pick.
We don't have a ton of picks left, so we're cool. Let's keep rolling. Let's roll a few more.
Haskell Garrett goes. Solid selection there for the Bengals, and they're on the interior.
Okay.
Jalen Watson goes.
Feeling good. We're feeling
close.
good.
Tyler Beatty.
There's okay.
All right, Stuber just went another tackle off the board. Oh my gosh, this is getting close.
Where are we at? We're at
187.
Oh, okay, Jacksonville, we're good. Come on, I watch your AEW product. Help me out here, thank you. The Lions, okay.
Colin coming to help.
Okay. This is so stressed. Okay. There's Isaiah Thomas. Come on, Bears. We're good. Let's go Cordell Volson. Let's get that little bit of versatility on the offensive line. It addresses a need as well. And everybody wanted Christian Watson out of North Dakota State because he's friends with Trey Lance. Let's get another Trey Lance friend in here. Let's go Cordell Volson.
Heck yeah.
I love to see
this. I like this.
Prove. This guy's a beast.
We got two at the top there to prove I don't hate this here. And anyone else you want to pitch, or you like this?
No, I love this actually. This is spot on. It's very sound thinking. I like it.
It's solid thinking. This was absolutely incredible here, gentlemen. Volson there off the board for us at 187. And now there's one pick left, Brian. Just one. It's all yours. Pick
I guess that means I can't trade up because we only have one left. So I guess we'll see. We'll see who's there at 222, and then we'll go for it.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's let it roll to 220. Let's find out who's going to be available, and let's see.
What did we not get? Like safety? I don't think we got a safety yet.
Safety's the only thing we haven't taken yet at the moment.
Yeah, would safety make the roster though?
Yeah, I don't know. But here's the thing, though, is like we don't really have two starting safeties.
Well, I know
we've got Ward, and then it's like.
So the one name that I've seen quite a bit on 49ers Twitter, and I'm friends with Javi, is Leon O'Neal.
Oh yeah,
that could be an intriguing one here, and also too, he could play in because the Niners have been addressing special teams as well, special team play. He could be an intriguing one. That's the one name
check out
I
safety.
have written. Or Marquise Bell as well.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna go safety here, I'm gonna make the pitch for the Jaquiski Tart the guy who's got a Jaquiski Tart mold in him, the guy who makes plays all over the field in Marquise Bell, Florida A&M, comes up in the box, does a lot of things. There are concerns about coverage with him, but I do like overall his upside.
So here's what I will say is I like Leon O'Neal. However, there is a reason why he is available at this point. He's definitely lacking speed. He runs a 4.7 and he misses a lot of tackles. I remember watching a game and it was obvious he was lacking speed. And I think he had 4 or 5 missed tackles in one game. Flies around the field, no doubt, but I think he's really limited. I have not watched Marquise Bell. So can somebody give me the scouting report on him? Because I'm curious, but I haven't watched the film yet. Yeah, same with
Marquise
Brad
Bell,
Hawkins. Haven't watched
Marquise
the film.
Bell's,
I'm curious.
Marquise Bell looks like a developmental Jaquiski Tart. I mean, he's in the similar mold. He tackles like him. He plays in the box like him. He's a developmental cover guy, so he's going to get better in that area. But he's a guy that flashes on film and is fun to watch. So, I mean, he was somebody that me and Alex, when we watched film on him, literally comped to Jaquiski Tart. But there's a lot of development that needs to go into it. He's not going to be able to step in day one and contribute to the 49ers besides special teams.
So what do you mean by a lot of development? Are we talking like he doesn't does he have the physical traits? Because what I'm looking at is like, how are his feet? How are his hips? How's his speed? If it's like he needs to work on like pursuit angles, but he has the speed, or he needs to work on tackling, that's something that you can teach. But does he have like the movement ability to develop is, I guess, my question. Because that was my concern with Leon O'Neal was he's missing a lot of tackles. Sure, you can fix that, but he's still a 4.7 speed guy. So it's like limited box only.
That's fair.
No, he definitely has all the physical tools. He moves very well. He comes downhill. He takes really good angles. At Florida A&M, he was the anchor of that defense. And this was a guy who had bigger offers and opportunities to go other places, but wanted to be a 4-year starter, wanted to be a standout guy right away, went to a smaller school, and then stood out. I mean, he stood out consistently on film. He was the leading tackler for that football team. So, I mean, talk about a guy who's playing the safety position, being one of the leading tacklers on the field for your team. He's a captain. He's a guy who's in charge of, basically wearing the responsibility. And Frank Salvador said it in chat. Oh, wait. No, he didn't say it in chat. Never mind. He's talking about someone else. I thought he was talking about M. Bell. I thought that meant Marquise Bell. That's not the case there. Ant, you wanted me to bring up linebackers. Is the guy that you were looking for there?
I don't see him right there, but I was going to see if he was available. And it doesn't appear so. So I'm not going to be pitching a linebacker. Can you go to edge rusher, though, real quick?
I can, absolutely.
Before I do this, and then I'll be done.
Do you know if Marquise Bell is a ball hawk at all? Like, did he get, like, picks and pass breakups or anything? Or was he more just, like, a tackle a guy kind of safety?
Let me break out my
He's going to bring in his notes real quick because I'm trying to scroll through chat and look at names and look at things that are going on here.
I'm almost sold. I haven't scouted him yet, and I've pretty much only been like talking about guys that I have actually watched at least one game.
Now I got a question, Brian, and let's consider this just to throw it out there, just for funsies.
Yeah.
Is there a team that still has 2 picks left?
Oh,
because maybe we can kick something next year, drop back as linebacker and safety. Both could be positions the Niners look. I'm just throwing. I'm just pitching ideas.
And there
out
are some
there.
linebackers.
So
let's
maybe
see if there's a trade where we can maybe drop back like 3 or 5 or 10 spots and pick up another 6th this draft. Let's see if we can add another pick.
I'm going to pull that up right now. And Ant, while I do that, go ahead and read
I'll go through my Marquise Bell, 6'2", 212 pounds for Florida A&M. I thought he was a natural athlete, good in run fits, really good in the box, developing coverage skills, and he plays really long. The things that I was kind of concerned about, he can get turned around in coverage, and he needs to get better with his footwork in coverage. He doesn't always hit the 45. He's not able to press on those routes sometimes that are coming across the middle. Those were the coverage things that he needs to work on.
But he's got 4.41 speed.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So Dolphins want to trade up to 220 from 224. They have 224 and pick 247. You have the Vegas Raiders at 227 that want to come up. That's the only pick they have this year. Philly wants to come up from 237. That's the only pick that they have this year. And Houston wants to come up from 245. That is the only pick they have this year. So the Dolphins would really be the only realistic trade where we could get something else. That would be pick 247, which is going to be back in closer to the end of the 7th round.
So Andrew, what do you want at 247?
Well, so what would you go at 224? Because
I'm pretty sold on Marquise Bell. He sounds like a guy. Again, I haven't watched him yet, but that sounds like what we want is a safety with physical traits who can develop into a starter. Worst case scenario, he's a special teamer to begin with, and we've got 4 guys competing for a starting safety job, which isn't the worst thing.
I think the only thing we can get weird with is maybe another linebacker. That's really the only position I think, because and linebackers.
Are there any guys you like?
Linebacker's a position I'm a little lost at, so I'd probably say, Brian, you could make the last pick as well if there's anybody that really stood out to you. If there's nobody else that you really like, I'm cool with just taking your guy now and calling it a draft.
I mean, if we're only going back 4 spots, it gives us an option. I will say that I like of the linebackers. I did see Darian Butler. I know he was good in coverage.
What you got, Pasquini? What are you looking at?
Can we scroll up a little bit? What about we trade back and we get our boy Matt Arezia, the punter? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Listen, man, I'm just saying.
Kickers matter.
I'm just saying. No, but that's the guy who is the punter, right?
You're not wrong.
I think you're right.
I
don't know.
I'm pulling up punter stats. Let's do it.
He's got a bomb of a leg. The only thing is
field goals too.
Would the Niners do this? Would the Niners do this? And you're not going to do it here, right? We're not going to do it at 220. We're not going to do it at 224.
No. Brian would get his safety. I would get my punter. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
If you want to do that, I will trade back 4 spots to give Mitch some competition.
Yeah, dude. It's just all. Listen, man. I don't think you can go wrong with competition. Competition punters.
Every war room for the past 3 weeks has divulged into Matt Ariaza. I pitched it as a joke in War Room episode 2, and now it's stuck, Ant. It is completely stuck.
You want to turn down a punter who averaged 51.2 yards per punt? We're going back to the Singletary, Jim Harbaugh days of field position battles. Is that what you?
I think everyone's just.
We'll
doing
do this trade. We'll
do
this trade because I think Bell is still going to be there in 4 picks. And I'll let you do whatever you want. I think a linebacker makes more sense than a punter. But if that's what you want to do, it's your 6th round or 7th round pick or whatever.
Hey, listen,
they're all irrelevant in the 7th round.
If there's a linebacker that everybody really likes, then I'll go the linebacker. But I would love my punter.
Okay, so we can do this pick, but I've been trying to mess around with the options here.
What's the
only way to get this done?
To get from them in 2 years.
The only thing we can do in order to make this work, to legitimately make it work, is pick 220 from us, a round 6 compensatory pick, and then either in 2024, and then either a 2023 round 7 or a 2024 round 7, and in return you would get a 2020. You would get pick 224, pick 247, and a round 6 2024 compensatory pick.
So we're swapping compensatory 6 like 2 years from now.
So we would be
Makes
swapping.
no sense.
We would be swapping swapping sixes, giving up a future 7th in order to move back. In order to, we'd pick up pick 247 as well.
This is my kind of trade. We're swapping compensatory 6s to get a punter. What are we doing here, guys? Why are we not executing this?
Do it. We're pulling the trigger.
All right.
Run it in.
The trigger on it.
Boy, it's gonna really.
Do
this is really gonna suck when Bell goes 223.
Oh, if he goes 223, this is gonna blow up in everybody's face.
Oh no.
Oh man, I'm
All
gonna
right.
feel really bad that I pushed for this.
Oh God, I hope this doesn't happen.
Okay.
All right,
I
tackle.
swear if it's Seattle. I swear. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, one obstacle left. Cleveland. Don't fail us. Believeland in Cleveland.
Oh,
They
they
went on
nice.
safety.
Look at that. We
Took
love
the slow
it.
guy.
We
They
love
did
it.
take the slow guy. They took the slow guy, and now we get the safety that
Yep.
we were able to talk into. So Marquise Bell
Bell,
here
let's
at
do
this
it.
spot. I love it, Brian. I absolutely love it. And now the only question is going to be,
Oh man,
the
my
punter
punter,
gonna be
my
there?
punter better be there at 247. I'm a little worried about the Raiders.
He's gonna go like 246.
Yeah,
Cole
Okay.
Turner's just off the board there.
Okay.
DeJean Jackson, Ben Brown, Jerrion Ely, Bubba Bolden,
okay.
Dare Rosenthal. Oh,
Oh,
The Eagles. Oh, the
237.
Eagles.
no
that's
punter for
fine.
you.
Then let's go linebacker. I saw a name in the chat. Rose from Iowa State. I don't know much about linebacker. I do know it's a position the Niners probably could address just for a little bit of depth. So, you know what?
I see Zacoby McClain in the chat. I watched Darian Butler of Arizona, and I thought he was really good in coverage.
If
That's the only guy that I've
McClain,
watched
I'm
out of
assuming
these
was a guy you
Yeah,
originally.
Zacoby McClain's gone. Mike Rose is also gone. Both of them are gone.
He is gone. Both
Yeah.
gentlemen are gone. So linebacker options there and prospects are
Darian
dwindling. You did talk
Butler,
about Darian Butler. Go ahead.
I like him. I think that he's a really good coverage linebacker. You look at his PFF coverage stats, he's like an 80 coverage grade. The one game that I watched of his, he had 2 interceptions. He looks really, really good just moving in space. Just looks like he's very comfortable as like what we use, like a drop into the zone kind of off ball linebacker. I think he's a perfect fit. A little bit of a liability in the run game, but I think you can coach that up.
And
If I was picking a linebacker, that's who I would go with right now, especially as, your number 4 or number 5 guy that, because, like we're not going to be able to keep Dre Greenlaw and Aziz. They're both on the last year of their contract, so may as well get some development.
and Nephi Sewell is not a guy we're looking at.
I don't know who that is.
What? Who?
Utah. Nephi. Sorry, I apologize, mispronounced his name. I believe he was there at linebacker as well. But if we like Darian Butler, because also too linebacker is a position as well that can help the special teams. Which is something, as I said, the Niners have really been working for. So yeah, we'll go Darian Butler. I'll go Brian's pick with the last one because, as I said, I don't know a ton about linebacker. I know it's a position they'll probably address. So we'll go Darian Butler. Darian Butler. I can talk today. I promise.
I see Pacheco in the chat. That's a fun one.
That is a
Check
fun
it out.
one.
Another 4-3 running back.
That is true.
Yeah, we already
is
got a
there-
4-3 running back.
Is there anyone else that you want to potentially pitch here, and name-wise, at this spot?
No, I would just go with somebody that has an elite trait. So Pacheco would definitely be somebody that I was thinking of. You could probably sign him as an undrafted free agent, but imagine being able to pile 4-3 running backs on top of each other. There's no risk roll there, but then you bring these guys in, and one of them hopefully works out. And I don't know how much Isaiah Pacheco film you guys have watched from Rutgers, but there's nobody that runs more physically, hard. I mean, he just runs as hard as he can on every single play. So effort-wise, he's there, and the speed is there. Played behind a really bad offensive line at Rutgers, but he's got a lot of talent. But he definitely needs to get a little bit better in the vision department.
And
Yeah,
I mean,
Question.
Pretty much agree. What I saw with Pacheco, same thing that you saw, like explosive, strong. it was like he ran too hard all the time. He wasn't patient enough to like hit creases, and he just kind of looked like he was like just in a hurry to get to the block. And I think if he just learned a little bit of patience, got some coaching, he'd be an explosive running back. He definitely has the traits to be an explosive starter and size. I think he's like 215 and he ran a sub 4.4.
And
Correct.
if you think about it too, we would get to watch 49ers Twitter meltdown about another draft with 2 running backs. So
Andrew was knocking it out of the park right now with understanding what is going to absolutely cause meltdowns.
I totally understand it. Yeah, no, I listen, man.
I see Pacheco come up again. Oh, it's the same guy, I think.
It might be
same guy, Frank.
Oh man,
we heard you.
Frank loves himself some Pacheco.
Let's go Pacheco then. Why not? I've been sold. I've been sold. Let's get another impact runner and another player that could help the offense. Let's do it.
I love it there, sir.
We traded back for a punter and we got a running back. We love it.
I walked away with 2 4-3 running backs. So you lose, the fastest guy in the NFL running back position, but you try to make up for it with 2 really fast guys that are 200 plus pounds.
Fair. Definitely fair there.
Grading our draft. I'm excited.
Oh no.
The wonderful PFF grade.
Oh yeah, they're gonna give us like an F all across.
Hey,
let's see what they actually gave us here. I'm gonna let this roll through.
For fun. We had fun doing it.
We did have fun.
Hey, you know what? We passed. We're getting passing grades.
They're not a fan of the early picks here.
Hey,
weren't a fan of the early picks in the trades.
Ooh, they love D'Angelo Malone.
Yes, they did love D'Angelo Malone, and they loved the D'Angelo Malone pick. Did not like the Alec Lindstrom pick.
Man, they hated me. They hate me. Wow.
They gave us C-, and I really like this mock draft.
I know.
PFF, I am not on board with this.
Hey,
not even a little bit.
Alex, you and I both went to Sac State. That's what my report card at Sac State looked like, Russell. So I'm feeling solid. I got a piece of paper from Sac State for this, so we're good.
My only question is, what's the one class that you got an A in?
I would make the joke of PE, but PE wasn't a thing in college.
What did you get? What was your major?
Mass communications. I was the kid. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I just picked communications.
Hey, I get comms, man. I get it. I'm
feeling solid, so we're feeling good about. What year you graduate, by the way?
I graduated in 2019, so literally right before everything hit with the pandemic and they did online classes and shut down the. I snuck in there.
I was 16, so
okay. Look at that.
Unrelated. Just talk. 2 guys talking Sac State.
two guys talking stingers up at Sac State. There. Look. Here's the thing. Solid. There was 3 in there. That's solid.
I think we got a good draft haul.
It's
not what I would normally do, but it was fun. It was good. I think it made sense.
Can I get a screenshot of that too? I want that.
Oh yeah, I will send you it over actually right now.
Yeah, so. And that's what's different about these from somebody doing like a solo one is because you have everyone's opinion. So you might ultimately do something you wouldn't think about doing before, and then you have the work process. Working through like, oh, I wouldn't draft somebody here, but I'll draft them later. Then I'm going to move back, move up. It's just a different process, and that's why it's kind of fun.
Absolutely. So. I think
it's more fun than when I just sit on my desk and like do it on my lunch break. I'm just like, who am I picking this time?
So I just sent the screenshot over to both of you as well. So you both had it in the DMs there on Twitter. So that's there. That's available for you guys to both look at and post if you'd like as well. I agree. Jay Ellie just said it. This is easily top mocks so far. I love all of the picks. I like all of the guys. There's not a guy on this list that I don't think is a 49ers fit. And that is a rare thing because very rarely do guys fall into spots where you feel very comfortable with it. The fact that we made all of the selections that we just made, and in fact, we made so many selections that I can't fit them all on the screen. So there's that. There's that. OBS won't do it.
We had a lot of fun with the trade backs. That's my favorite thing about the draft is just saying what value, what player or what teams would trade up for, trade back for, all that fun. I mean, that's half the fun of the draft, in my opinion. So, and I had fun. So that's all that matters.
That's
here.
Important
right there.
We got some starters. We got some depth guys. We helped Trey a lot.
Absolutely. Both at the wide receiver, tight end, and running back spot.
And 2 linemen.
True, and 2 linemen. I forgot about the 2 linemen.
He's still added to the dynamic edge rushing ability with D'Angelo Malone. Somebody that I know Brian was talking about, and it makes a lot of sense because he's right. A lot of 1-year contracts for the edge rushers. The 49ers are eventually going to have to fill those roles. They can't afford to pay everyone, especially if they're going to give Bosa $30+ million.
Accurate there, Ant. Look, gentlemen, this was solid. It was fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed every second of it. I hope you guys did too as well. Man, absolutely incredible episode of War Room. And before we sign off, before we officially get going here, let everyone know again, Andrew, where they can find you and how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, my name is obviously Andrew. We've established that. On Twitter, you can find me though at Pasquini Andrew, Pasquini. It's you just spell it phonetically. That's pretty much how it works. You can find me on the Sprint Ride Option podcast with Jason Aponte. We record once or twice a week. Just search that on Spotify. Go subscribe to Jason Aponte's YouTube channel too, because he does a lot of fantastic work there, and he produces some great content. So definitely go do that, guys.
Absolutely. And Brian, where can they find you?
Yeah, again, I've got trying to point this out. Twitter at Brian PNW99, Brian Carter 99. I've got a podcast, Brian Carter 99, just Apple, Spotify, link in the description. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your enemies, all that stuff.
That was as bad as good of a plug that I could possibly ever make, Brian. So I appreciate that. That doesn't require me to now make said plug. Look, a lot of fun. This was a great War Room. And Ant, we still have War Room Aftermath for all of our channel members and patrons. So if you want to be able to discuss with Warren, by the way, Warren Brown making his appearance here on the podcast and on the show, exclusively behind the paywall for our patron and channel members, then become a channel member, join today. Ant, a lot of fun. It was great having both of you on.
Yeah, it was great having all of you, for sure. Yeah, it was wonderful. Both of you brought unique perspective to every one of these draft picks. And then also I enjoyed the trading up and trading back. It was more than any other War Room that we've done so far. And I think more akin to what John Lynch likes to do. So I really like that.
Yeah, had an awesome time.
Yeah, it was a blast. It was fun. Thank you for having us on. It was a ton of fun.
Of course.
Hey, glad to have you. Glad to do this. TCC will catch you for Aftermath. And until the next one, stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way. Tonight after War Room, there's a special guest joining us for Aftermath.
Oh my gosh, there is? Who is it?
Yeah, Warren Brown, a content creator, is going to be joining us to talk everything you need to know about 49ers. Come and get acquainted with us. If you're a channel member or a Patreon patron, come and help us out.
Come and help us out. And not only that, get introduced to a new content creator who's going to be talking with us and reacting to what just happened in War Room Episode 5.
Can't wait for it. Make sure you're there.